The Seven Trumpets in Revelation. Now, this is Revelation chapter 8 on the Fourth Trumpet. This report from General Accounting Office in 1998 regarding the Department of Defense management issues related to SHAF reveals a certain objectives the SHAF or chemtrail serves, releasing detailed information such as types and inventories of the SHAF used by the Air Force, Navy, and the Army from 1991 and onward. The report states that the SHAF made from various fibrous and metallic material works like a decoy by presenting a false target to enemy radar systems. Although the first recorded large-scale use of the SHAF by American forces in combat was 1943, in an air raid over Germany, the SHAF is still being sprayed over various states for training purposes. Attached in the report is a radar image of SHAF plumes over Arizona and New Mexico region in 1997. I don't know how valid this report is from Idaho Observer because it doesn't include the actual lab report. Anyhow, it says that it discloses substances found in the SHAF sprayed over Iowa included 6 bacteria including anthrax and pneumonia, 9 chemicals including acetylcholine chloride, 26 heavy metals including arsenic, gold, lead, mercury, silver, uranium, and zinc, 4 molds and fungi, 7 viruses, 2 cancers, 2 vaccines, and 2 sedatives. As the General Accounting Office report submitted by the Department of Defense, the chemtrail has specific purposes such as masking the planes, sending false radar images, or interfering with space shuttle launching by confusing the weather forecast by misinterpreting the SHAF as rainy clouds. Despite such technical advantages for military purposes, the environmental issues seem very serious, which is why the GAO report was prepared. Apart from the chemtrail issues, I further researched as to what the academia was saying about the climatological phenomena that Revelation prophesies. This is a study conducted in Germany which is published in the International Journal of Climatology in 1997. In their investigation of recent changes in solar radiation, they concluded the global solar radiation decreased by an average rate of 8% per decade between 1964 to 1990. Which accounts for over a 20% reduction in solar radiation. However, under partly cloudy conditions, the diffuse portion of the global solar radiation also declined. This means that the reduction in solar radiation is not due to the diffusion caused by the clouds in the sky, and the study reveals that the total cloud cover amount changed little over the period. So, the solar radiation was reduced independent from the amount of clouds present. At some places, the mean direct solar radiation income was higher during the hours with 100% sunshine duration and observed clouds than during hours with totally clear skies. This too is signifying that the direct solar radiation was lower in clear sky days than cloudy days, which seems very strange. So they conclude, as part of the possible reasons, that the causes of the reduced solar radiation are due to the aircraft traffic increasing the occurrence of the cirrus clouds and an indirect aerosol effect. This paper is basically touching on the chemtrail effect and smoke phenomena in the Earth's atmosphere, including the troposphere as well as the stratosphere. You can see in the provided graphs how the global direct solar radiation has reduced over 20% over a 27-year period up until 1990. The observation is same in all 4 conditions: clear, cloudy, with sun, partly cloudy, and overcast days. Here is a similar study from opposite hemisphere in China. In this geophysical research letters published in 2008, we can read about the long-term trends in sunshine duration over 2 provinces in Yunnan and Guizhou in southwest China. So in summary, a cooling trend in the annual mean surface air temperature since the mid-20th century was reported as a notable phenomenon of regional climate against the global warming. So they applied the data of sunshine duration and cloud amount from 184 stations across the Yunnan-Guizhou Plateau from year 1961 to 2005 and found that over this 45-year period, annual sunshine duration decreased minus 11.8% per decade. and an overall decline in annual sunshine duration over the northern Yunnan Guizhou Plateau dramatically accelerated from the 1970s to 80s, with a maximum rate in the 1980s. But just as in the study by Germans, the annual mean cloud amount was shown to be insignificant and even in decline over the 45 years. So they reached the same conclusion, supporting the hypothesis aerosol loading in the atmosphere could be involved in the surface cooling trend. I believe that this aerosol loading in the atmosphere is descriptive wording for the chemical contrails and smoky fog-like air pollution screening out the light from outside space. Here is data on Israel and Ireland published in the International Journal of Climatology in 1998. This paper also reveals that the annual total sunshine hours in both Ireland and Israel were decreased with average of 4.53 and 2.99 hours per year until year 1995. Here is paper from Japan, published in 2003 on the same journal. And let me briefly share some summary points taken from discussion and conclusion section of this paper. The late 1980s to 1990s, the sunshine from spring to autumn has obviously decreased, and since mid-1980s, the period of little sunshine has become longer, which is a similar phenomenon seen during 1950s, when a period of relatively little sunshine often appeared in late spring. In the Southwest Islands, sunshine duration has been decreasing almost all throughout the year, and as a result, a temporal fine weather period around April has disappeared. Listeners, besides these papers, I've seen many other papers covering regions of various continents, and they all attest to this similar global trend of reduction of direct sunshine duration and intensity. Such observations steadily occurred from 1950s and continues even after 2000, and on average, 8 to 10% decrease in sunshine duration and intensity is observed per decade. And notably, such phenomena is against the alleged global warming that the world bought into, and the studies show volcanic activities are not the cause of it. Many of the papers accept and consider the aerosol effect introduced from the aircraft contrails to the atmosphere to be the cause of this phenomena. This is why I'm convinced that the fourth trumpet has sounded and it is referring to the global chemtrail spraying activity.